Okay, here we go. Okay, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is nighttime. My name is Kristen Shoemaker, Regional Vice President, Independent Consultant with Arbonne, and today is November 19th, and this is our team training call. And we're going to be working on a skill set tonight about asking and inviting. So if you're listening to this live, awesome. I want you guys to ask questions, and if you are listening to the recording, please feel free to reach out and ask me questions that you have. I just want to thank everyone who's gotten on the Voxer challenge. If you want to take a plunge, you still have about 32 hours that you could participate. But for me, it's been really, really good. And I told Leslie today, I'm doing some individual coaching with a business coach who understands Arbonne really well. And she challenged me, y'all, to reach out to 100 people about the business in the next 2 weeks. So just so you know that I am working my business. I've started remaking my 100-person name list, and I am on 41 so far. So I've got 59 more people to add to that list, but I am committed to reaching out, and I'm not going to say I'm going to do a one-on-one with all those people in the next 2 weeks, but that is just part of my goal in the next 2 weeks is to schedule one-on-ones and reach out to every single person that I write on this list. So tonight we're going to be actually talking about that, like asking and inviting, because that is the bloodline, that's the lifeline of your business. And so if you find that you're like stuck right now in your business, or maybe you're just getting started and you're like, how do I get this boulder up this hill? Because like, that's really what it is when you start your business is, spoiler alert, like you're pushing a boulder up a hill for a while. So if you feel like you're struggling in your business when you're first getting started, like that's totally normal. And it's because one, there's a huge learning curve and there's a lot to learn, but two, it takes a while. It's kind of like the engine, when like a locomotive is starting on a train track, you'll see the wheels just start to slowly go before it starts going faster because of the friction. And there's friction in your business. And we always talk about our businesses going in 90-day cycles. So if you haven't gone through a 90-day cycle in your business, I don't want to hear you say, like, this isn't working for me, okay? Because if you're not working, if you're not asking, like that's your job is to ask. And so if you're not doing that and you're still feeling stuck, it's because you're not doing it. And if you are doing it and you're feeling stuck, we can tweak and look at like how you're asking. Maybe you're asking too abruptly. Maybe you're not asking with clarity. But the point of what we get paid for, what Arbonne pays us to do, is to ask, okay? They don't pay advertisers. We are the advertisers. And very few people are going to come up to you and knock on your front door and be like, hey, God told me in a dream that you sell really good skincare. Like, it's not going to happen. Sorry. I wish it would, but it's not. And so our job is to go out and ask those people. And when Lori told me today, she's like, how do you think you do on sponsoring? And I was like, well, I've never, and I will. Let me just give props to Anna Loynes because I'm so proud of her. She's sponsored 4 consultants this month. And I have never sponsored 4 consultants, and I'm a regional vice president with Arbonne. I mean, I have sponsored 4 consultants. I've never sponsored 4 consultants in 1 month. And so that is what we're asked to do. We are asked to ask to find other brand ambassadors. So just like news flash for this, your job is not to sell Arbonne, okay? And I think sometimes we get hung up on that. Like, oh, no one wants to buy this, or no one wants, who would I know that would be interested in this? And your job is to ask people to take a look and allow them to figure out where they fit. They fit in one of 4 categories. They fit as a retail client. They fit as a preferred client. They fit as someone who wants to build an income opportunity, or they fit as someone who's a host. Okay, so those are the 4 categories that they'll fit into. And some of those people will not fit into any of those right now, but they will eventually fit into one of those categories. And that's just me doing this for 4.5 years. I'm just going to tell you that. So yeah, it's intimidating. A lot of these people on my list are preferred clients of mine. And I'm going through my old preferred clients and I'm going to ask them if they would be willing to network with me. And that's what I want you guys to start asking. So first off, I want everyone to be really honest and vulnerable right now. Who has made their 100-person name list and filled it out completely? Like to 100. Okay, Dana?
Not
Can't
me.
see Brandy, Amanda, and Marge. Leslie, you've made a 100-person name list?
I haven't.
Do you not believe me?
Show it to me, girlfriend.
Okay, hold on. Oh, I don't know how to share my screen. I have 156 people.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But
Okay.
yeah, I'll send you my tracker.
Okay, I believe you. Hey, there's look, Brandy's all official. She's got an Excel spreadsheet. I can't.
I've got 91, and then I've got some that I've talked to that are not on that list.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you guys. That's awesome. Okay, so what I want you guys to do who have done your 100-person name list is I want you to circle the top 10 people on your 100-person name list who you would love to be in your business. Okay? Like if you could dream in a perfect world scenario, who would those 10 people be? Okay? And, okay, Marge says not 100. Okay, I know, Marge, that you know 100 people. So I'm going to hold you to it because you're in my Voxer group. You need to put 100 people on that name list. And who are those top 10 people that if the world just went the exact way you wanted to go, they would like call you tomorrow and say, oh my gosh, I want to join your Arbonne business. Okay. So circle those 10 people. And then those are the 10 people that we're going to reach out to and ask to do, it's called a dream team call. So tonight we're talking about inviting and asking. That is the first kind of category of your ask and they could be people who've told you no. Okay, no thank you. You maybe have already asked them about the business. But the reason that we do that is because in the long run, that is going to grow your business faster because that was Peter Morick's vision for Arbonne. He could have put Arbonne in Macy's on a retail store, okay? But he chose to do it through a distribution model called network marketing, which means that you're going to get paid more to find other people who love the products and recommend the products. And those people do not have to sell a lot of products, okay? It's word of mouth recommendation. Ideally, in your network marketing business, you would have people that were ordering like $150 to $200 a product a month, period. And you would just have a lot of those people. Okay, so when you think of people that you would love to do the business, think of recommenders. Who do you know that are connectors? Who do you know that are those people, those friends in your life that are like, oh my gosh, I just got the best deal on these shoes? Who do you know that like goes to a restaurant and they're like, you have to eat at this restaurant, it's so good. Those people will be amazing at Arbonne because they're already good at making recommendations. Okay, and that's what Arbonne pays you for. They do pay you to sell products, but they pay you to network. That's why it's called network marketing. You're building your web of consumers, okay? And some of those people will decide that they want to make residual asset income in the $5,000 to $20,000+ a month range. But statistically, and this is what we talk about, when you're asking people to look at the business, we reference it to like a deck of cards. Okay, there's 52 cards in the deck and there's 4 aces. So 4 aces means that you're going to ask 52 people to look at the business and they're going to say yes. And only 4 of them are really going to want to build an asset stream with Arbonne. The other ones are going to love the products and be in love with the products, and they're going to buy the products monthly. And that's still going to build your business. Leslie knows this because we talk about it a lot. But my central district does about $36,000 in product sales a month. And that's because I have a lot of consultants who I love who do not desire to build asset income with Arbonne. Okay. And they're in my central district, but they order monthly. And so I reap the benefit of that, but I've had to ask a lot of those people, and a lot of them have said yes and then changed their mind, or a lot of them have said no, but I'd love a bigger discount. I love these products. And so do y'all see how that kind of works a little bit? Does that make sense? And I think people are hesitant to ask people about the business, but when you're hesitant, and I experienced that hesitancy, and I got my face kicked in today by my business coach when she was like, you are totally making this about yourself. Okay? You have no right to decide whether or not they would be interested. Maybe they don't need money, but maybe they need community. Maybe they need friendships. Maybe they need choices. Maybe they need time. How dare you decide whether or not you think it's worth it for them to do this with you? And that was just really hit home with me, because I have decided that for a lot of people. I've been like, I don't want to offend them. I want them to be my friend. I want them to like me. Okay? If you do this the right way, they're still going to like you even if they tell you no. Okay? Be genuine, be you. And so what I have found to be one of the best ways to ask people to look at the business, if you are starting your business, okay, you can reach out and say, hey, Anna, that's Kristen. You could voice text this. I don't know if you know this, but I've started a business with this incredible company called Arbonne. And I thought of you because you're really into health and wellness, and I know it might not be a fit for you, but would you be willing to network with me and just hear why I'm excited and my vision for my business? And maybe we could go to coffee. Okay? If someone ignores that, one, I would just say that's their loss. If a friend said to me, I've started a business, I'm really excited about it, and I would love to network with you about it, I would say, sure. That is what a friend does, okay? If someone says to you, ignores you or blows you off because of it, I'm not saying they're not your friend, but I do think they have a lot of personal growth to do. And it's not about you, it's about them. So I really would love for you guys to really make a conscious effort this week to focus on not only reaching out to people about product, but I would ideally say that you totally 100% lead with the business the rest of this week. And I know it's Thanksgiving week, so I'll give you a pass on Thursday, but make an effort. If I'm going to reach out to 100 people in the next 2 weeks, and I have 8 kids at my house because my sister's in Italy, you guys can too. I feel like it's midnight and it's 9:47. Yeah. I ate chicken nuggets off of a plate today and noodles out of the pan with a little sauce spread on it with a spoon. Okay. It's been a wild ride. I tried to prevent children from driving down my driveway and getting hit by cars all afternoon. So it's not been fun. So if I can reach out to those people, you guys can too. And so do it in whatever way you can. And once you have asked those 10 people, and this is not some fancy cocktail, it is lemon water. Okay, I'm just getting that off too. Once you've reached out to those people, I want to do a vision call with them. Okay, those 10 people you've circled, even if they don't all say yes, whoever says yes, even if it's just one of them, I want to do a vision call with them. So whether I'm your upline, your sponsor or not, I want to do a vision call. And because I want to help your upline grow your business with you. I am your upline, whether I'm your upline or I'm your grandma upline, if that makes sense. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about asking people to look at the business? Anna says no.
I've got a couple.
Okay, Brandy, ask.
I know there's a whole bunch of different links in all the different groups, but what is one of the better ones when you're asking them to take a look at Arbonne? Like where you're saying that most people will fit into one of the 4 categories, and not to ask them necessarily to look at the products or like the 30 days to healthy living. What would be the preferred information to send them if they say, yes, I'm willing to take a look at it? What is it?
Okay, so I would initially say, let's get them on a 3-way call with myself and you and them. So we would do like a 20-minute Zoom call. That would be like ideal, okay? If you've asked them to look at the business and like I'm not available, or for in your case, Tana's not available, then in the community of Healthy Living from the Inside Out, like Lauren Pavo did a call last night, I've done a call, and Sandra's done a call all about the business. So you could go in there and find one that you felt like would resonate with them the most and tag them in that and say, hey, Susie, this person reminds me of you. Why don't you listen to her story? Does that make sense? So the hope is with the community group is that we're building kind of our own repertoire of calls that you guys can just ask, add, tag, message people in. So that's go ahead.
So like the community group is okay to add anybody that might be interested, whether they've ordered or not ordered.
Absolutely. It's a total prospecting group. So anyone, even if they're not interested in the business, but they're interested in the 30 days, add them to the community group and tag. There's like a post in there that has a ton of stuff about the 30 days, like tag them on that post. If they're interested about skincare, tag them on that. And the reason we're doing events out of that group is that maybe they would be in there about the 30 days, but then they might see an event pop up about financial freedom or something. And then they might add themselves to that event without you even knowing. And then they might be like, hey, Brandy, I watched this thing last night. Can you tell me more about it? Type thing. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's like a total prospecting group. That's a great question. Do you have another question? Did you say you had 2? I guess not. Okay. Anybody else have a question about that? Okay. If you're asking people to host, so I would say if you're asking people to look at Arbonne, I would 9 times out of 10 lead with a business. If they say, Anna, I'm so sorry, I'm not interested in a business opportunity. You can say, that's okay. We offer this incredible product line that helps people get healthy from the inside out. Do you mind if I shared that with you? Okay. It's probably products that you're already using that you could replace with these products that would help your health better. Does that make sense? So lead with the business and fall back on the products. Lead with the business, fall back on the products. I think a lot of times people lead with the products, and then when someone's not interested in the products, you can't go, well, do you want to look at this business? You know, and I've been prospecting 4 different people over the last month, which obviously I need to be prospecting more according to Lori, to look at the business. And 2 of them are not interested in the business right now, but they both signed up to become preferred clients. Okay. So, and 2 are undecided. So that was great. So those are 2 people that aren't even local to me that are now PCs on my team that I can then circle back around and later on talk to about the business. So hosting, I have been so excited about this virtual hosting piece because, and I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's like doing in-person parties. Okay. And let me tell you why it's like that. Leslie and I went 2 weeks ago. We did an in-person party and it was a 1200 QV party. It was awesome. It was so fun. It was super interactive. Then on November 8th, I went and did an in-person party and kids played checkers while I tried to do my presentation. And it was 0 QV. Okay. So let's just say that Leslie's was super fun and mine was super embarrassing and not fun. But the thing that was similar to both of them is that I was out of my house for 4 hours for each of them. Okay, so the joy of a virtual event, and I think we're kind of getting some traction with this, is that I just did 2 tonight. They are online, they're 30 minutes long, and some of them are going to be 0 QV. Anna, I love you. I did 2 launches for Anna tonight. Some of them are going to be 0 QV, but then I did one Monday night last week, and I sold 2 30 days kits, and a woman's interested in hearing about the business. Okay, same amount of time, 30 minutes, and that's a $630 QV event and a potential business partner and a lady who definitely wants to host. So the thing when you're asking, I would say you're going down the track of either asking about the business or you're circling back with friends and saying, hey, I know you don't want to clean your house, but I'm really excited about what I'm doing. Would you feel comfortable getting 3 or 4, 5, 10 friends on a virtual event so I can share more about what I'm doing with Arbonne, helping people get healthy from the inside out? Okay, and I would really just be casual, just be yourself. Don't be all uptight and nervous. And if they say no, it's okay. The lady who hosted for me on Monday, I asked to host a virtual event 6 months ago. And she was like, no, 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 no. And then she ran out of her face lotion. And she came to me and said, hey, remember when you asked me to host that event and you told me I could get products for 80% off? And I'll say the key to hosting virtually is the host. So if you are the host, you need to be like over the top excited. You need to be doing it effectively with the way you enter people into the event. Don't spam them. You never want to like invite 300 people to your virtual event. That's like really bad. I mean, it's not like the end of the world bad, but you want to have an individual reach out with every single person you're doing a virtual event to. So you would just say like, hey, Dana, I'm hosting this event Monday night, and we're talking about how to get healthy from the inside out. I think you would really find it interesting. Can I add you? Okay. If they ignore you, whatever, that's their problem. But most time people will say, yeah, sure. And then what this lady has done really well for me is she's following up with her people who watched and saying, what did you think? What did you learn from it? Is there anything I can help you with? And then we've started implementing using a wellness profile online where I posted the link and told them that they would get 10 extra raffle tickets for the drawing for the free prizes if they filled it out. Now, 26 people watched my live and only 4 people filled it out, okay? But of those 4 people, 2 are ordering a healthy living set and 1's interested in the business. So it's not to say that everyone's going to fill out your profile, but the ones that do, I think are more interested, if that makes sense. So that's what I would really challenge you on. And Amanda just sent me a text with some really great verbiage about of how she's going to invite some people tomorrow to host a virtual event for her. So whether you're starting or not, on the help sheet for the Voxer challenge, if you're doing that, I put some wording on how you could ask people about that. So the key is just being honest. Leslie, I'll see you 1 second. Of just being honest with how many people you are talking to. And when you see people going really fast, like Mariah and Madeline, and they were talking about last night, like y'all, they're talking to like 100 people a day. They're asking like 100 people a day. That's crazy. I mean, it's because they're like millennials and they know how to use social media and they have big followings, okay? I'm not them. Like, I'm not going to talk to 100 people a day. But I'm just warning you not to compare your business to them and go, why are they going so fast? You know, they are literally on their phones all day long. I'm trying to keep kids alive and not go in the street or choke on chicken nuggets. So, you know, like, I don't have the time. I don't have the capacity to have, and like Brandy works full time. Anna works full time. Like Leslie, you work full time. So don't comparison's the thief of joy. Okay, so don't compare your business to somebody else's business, but you can compare to see like, oh, what are they doing that's differently? Could I change anything? Leslie, you raised your hand.
I just was thinking to myself and was wondering if you had any ideas after the event on how to like get some like remind people to go back into it. Because I wonder if people, you know, how you say like Sandra told me to say, you know, stay close to the event. We're going to be posting, you know, some neat videos, and we're going to post this, and we're going to post that. But I wonder if we should be like private messaging everybody maybe and saying like, thank you so much for coming, and don't forget to go back in each, you know, today and tomorrow, because there's going to be some really great follow-up information.
Yeah, I would totally do that if you're hosting a virtual event. So every single person that you have invited, you need to private message. And I wouldn't message them. I would use the voice memo of just if they came and they watched, oh my gosh, thank you so much for getting on live. It meant the world to me. I'm so excited about my business, and your support just means so much to me. And then I would ask them on the voice memo, Leslie uploaded this wellness profile, and I'm learning how to look at them and read them. Would you do me the hugest favor and just go on and fill it out, and I can follow up with you with a phone call. So if they didn't watch it live so that's why I always say to people when you do the live, leave one emoji if you're live and 2 emojis if you're watching the recording. Then you can follow up with those recording people and saying, thank you so much for watching the recording, and tell them the same thing. Now, not everybody is going to fill out that profile. And even the people that fill it out are not all going to let you call them. But you're further down the road, and you can reference back that we are going to be uploading these things, or we're going to do this drawing or whatever. And that's the thing with the virtual, it's just like a constant follow-up battle. But like my Zero QV checkers party that went on November 8th, like there's 2 women that were there. Anna loves that. Anna, literally kids were playing checkers like right next to me while I was trying to present. Loudly playing checkers. There's 2 women that were there that now they did fill out a wellness profile by hand, and I'm going to follow up with them this week and ask if I can bring them samples. So it was a Zero QV event that night, and I think that's where people get like stirred up and all like in a ruffled feather of like, no one bought anything, like this is your advertising. Like that's why you're doing it, is to advertise. And then you have a whole follow-up department that comes in and calls and messages, and they're on your 100-person name list, and you meet them for coffee, and you drop off a skincare sample, or you give them a fizz stick, or the gateway drug is the mascara. If you don't have the mascara samples, like get the mascara samples. And if they're a woman, and even some men, like give them mascara samples. It's just this process, and it's a constant process. And if you become okay with the process, the initial whatever happens in that event won't ruffle your feathers very much, because you're just like, great, that's just part of the process. Here we go. And I kind of like to look at it as like this game, of like, okay, sweet. There's like 6 people on. Okay. Who do I get to talk to next? Like, how am I going to reach out to them? What is the thing that I could give them as a sample to entice them to want to know more? So it becomes, instead of like a disappointing thing for me, it kind of becomes a little bit of a challenge. And again, like with that profile, this sweet little Sharon was like, in her profile told me, I'm going to school to be a wellness coach, and maybe I'd like to host an event. And so when I called her, I was like, you really need to look at the business. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, you totally could do it. And she's like, yeah, when can we meet for coffee? So on the profile, she didn't check she was interested in the business, but she checked that maybe she'd be interested in hosting. So do y'all see how that works a little bit? And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I'm learning. So anything else? It's 10:03. Yeah, Brandy. If you have to get off, and if anyone is tired and needs to get off, feel free to get off. Go ahead, Brandy.
What do you do with the wellness profile?
So they fill it out, and it just kind of says like what they're interested in, like skincare or wellness, or what their budget is, what they normally spend on these types of products per month, and then their like interest level. And so after they fill it out, like I'll text someone and be like, oh my gosh, Amy, thank you so much for filling out the wellness profile. And if they're in an online event, I'm like, that gets you 10 raffle tickets towards our prize. I'd love to go over it with you. When's a good time for me to call? And so with this one, when 4 people filled it out, 3 of them were like, wrote me back right away and were like, well, I can't talk until Saturday, but can you talk on Saturday? So on Saturday, I called all those people that told me, and then one lady ignored me. And then she told the hostess the only reason she filled it out is she was hoping she would win the prize. And I was really glad when she didn't. So, but is that bad of me? But I was really glad. I was like, you're not taking my prize. All you want to do is fill it out and get a prize. So, but yeah, so then when you call them, and if you want me to, we call it processing a profile. That's honestly how I built my business to area manager, is I never had a party. All I would do was ask people if they would fill out these profiles and I could call them. I'm not training on that tonight. If that's something you want to learn more about, I'll tell you later. But we kind of got away from it, and I do it in person. Like they'll fill it out at the event, and then I process it at the close table with them. But we started reincorporating it with these virtual events because we needed a system to follow up. So it's a Google Doc, and you make your own, and then you get the email back that says so-and-so filled it out. And then that's when I ask for the phone call. And I'll say to them on it, I'll say like, hey, Brandy, I see that you're interested in skincare and wellness. Is there a particular thing you're more interested in? And they'll usually be like, oh my gosh, yes, I have high blood pressure and I have to lose weight. My libido is awful. And they'll like tell you their life story. Okay. And then you can say, well, this is what the 30 Days to Healthy Living did for me. Or they'll say, oh my gosh, I got horrible cystic acne. Nothing's ever worked. And you maybe didn't have cystic acne, but you can reference like someone else's story in Arbonne that had that problem and ask them if they would like more information on the RE9. So they're kind of selling themselves when you process it, because they're telling you what their problem is and then you're making the suggestion. But because they already told you the problem, they're more inclined to want the solution. Does that make sense?
Yeah. When I did the launch party, you had posted the wellness profile. I think you had anyhow, before day 2. And so I actually passed it out on day 2 and had them fill it out. I was never real clear on what you do with it afterwards or what the purpose of it was or any of that. So yeah, if you do a training on that, I'd definitely be interested.
Okay. There is one on like that we recorded a long time ago that I'll have to ask Sandra to find about like in-person wellness profile processing. Like if you're at someone's house and you have them fill it out. But I should do one on the online one. So, anything else? Anna's about to fall asleep.
Yes, it's been a long day.
I know. Thank you for being on.
No,
and Kelly too. Y'all, Kelly's a new consultant with Carol. Super sweet. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to end the recording. Thank you for those questions.